Welcome to Bay Rats and Buoys Season 2 with your host, Captain Gaige.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. I'm your host, Captain Gaige. This is episode 60, Season 2 from the studio, brought to you in part by Nautical School of Maritime Licensing. Visit nauticalschool.com today and sign up and get in that class and get out there and make some money on the water. Visit nauticalschool.com. This episode is also sponsored by Global Pizza. From Summerville, South Carolina, we have Chef Rob. He's the reason all of us are on this podcast today. Chef Rob, congratulations not only on the grand opening that's going down today. You're on the podcast today, and you're opening Global Pizza today. Today is the official grand opening. Tell us all about what you got going on. We're super proud of you, man.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I got, 100 doughs out right now. I got sauce on the fire. Open it up, man. A pizza place in Summerville. And it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And the reason why I'm shaking, I get so excited when I talk, bro. I'm kicking the floor, kicking it. So we're pumped, man. It's a family business. I got my kids in here, and it's been a long road. It took about 9 months. And talk about perseverance, just keep pushing, man. When you got all that craziness going on, surround yourself with good people, and you keep pushing, and you'll make it. And then once you make it, then it's just exponential, So thanks, man. I love it. I love being on the show.
Now, Global Pizza is inside Godwin's Beer Hall.
Godwin's Beer Hall is an awesome place in town, and they do beers from all around the world, and it's pretty awesome. We're going to start doing flights with different slices, it's just going to be amazing. So they let us take our concept and just drop it right in the middle of the beer hall, and it's exploding. Last night it blew up, and tonight's our grand opening. I can't imagine what tonight's going to be.
Yeah, well, tonight you're going to see Jamey there. I'm pretty jealous because Jamey said he's going, and we have Jamey and Matt, Captain Matt and Captain Jamey in the house. We appreciate you guys being on the podcast. This is going to be epic. Now, Jamey, tell us a little bit about, because, you have the contrast of 8 years in Alaska and then Florida. There can't be any difference, any more of a difference between Alaska and Florida. That's incredible. It really is. That's so cool. So tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started, and how you are where you are right now in South Carolina.
Yeah, man. First of all, thanks for having us. And when I started off fishing, I was actually trying to just make some money to go back to school, try to work towards a doctorate degree in physical therapy. And I was like, oh, that's what I think I want to do. I've been fishing my whole life, and originally wanted to go that course, but ended up going to school. I was like, oh, I'm going to go that route. But then my best friend called me up out of nowhere and was like, hey, I got a job on Craigslist to work in Alaska. I'm going to be captain of a charter boat up there. I need a deckhand. You want to come up? And I was like, what, dude? Like, you're from Illinois and you've never been to Alaska, and he's just going to give you the keys to a boat? And sure enough, he did, and said, yeah, dude, we'll fake it till we make it. And I went up there with them, and we started running a boat together. And that was supposed to be one summer, turned into 8 years of some of the best times of my life, man.
Wow, that's an incredible story.
Career captain ever since.
Nice. Good for you. And you fished in Florida. How many years were you down in Florida fishing?
Born and raised down there. So I grew up fishing in the Florida Keys with my uncle. I'm from the Fort Lauderdale area, so Biscayne Bay, Chokoloskee, Everglades City, all that stuff is just, right down the street for me. So I've been hopping around my whole life, just dropping in boats with my buddies. And then, of course, once I got my captain's license, started running some charters down there, and learning all the waters like back of my hand. I love it down there. Chokoloskee and Flamingo and Everglades City is just remarkable.
Yeah, well, congratulations. You recently got married and you're in Hawaii, and I saw a picture of you that I'll put up here on the screen with a bonefish. So you were bone fishing in Florida, so it was no different to catch them in Hawaii.
Yeah, man. It's definitely different. It was really cool. Fishing Biscayne Bay is pretty tough sometimes, and fishing the Keys, it's pretty crowded now, but there's a lot of fish out there. The fishery still, you hear a lot of people talk about how bad the fishery is. I don't know, man. I go out there and it's still beautiful. There's still fish to be caught. It's fun. I want to catch fish everywhere I go. So if I'm going on a vacation, I'm going to find that target species in that area. I'm going to book a charter if I haven't been there before, but I don't think I could do it myself, and go for it. And the flats there in Honolulu are known for some of the biggest bonefish in the world. And I'll tell you this, I wish I could remember the name of the guy who I was fishing with, and I apologize for forgetting, but phenomenal guy, took me out there. We must have saw, God, like 15 to 20 bonefish that were over 10 pounds. And
wow.
I didn't catch a single one of them. And,
that's fishing.
We're in knee deep water and these fish are tailing. And it was got the heart pumping, got it going. I was able right on the way back to the boat. I finally got a shot on a fish coming onto the flat, and he took the fly, and it was just, it was awesome.
That's incredible. And great picture you sent. So, Jamey, you are the reason that Matt has a captain's license, because you guys are running a nice business down there at the retreat. And tell us a little bit about how the business got started with Charleston Red Fish Pros.
Yeah, so a few different directions here. So Matt started working with me with a party boat company that I started when I got here called Stoke Party Boats. But I actually had met him. He I don't know if I was the reason he became a captain.
Gotcha.
It sounded like going down that route. I actually ran into him at a bar called Chico Feo and on Folly Beach, and we were just chatting. I needed a captain to start my business. And we started talking fishing and boats, and we had a mutual friend. And I was like, man, this guy knows a lot about the water here, a lot about boats. I'm like, do you, be a captain? And he jumped on it, and he's been just a blessing ever since. And then from there, he worked for the company for a few years. And then when I started working out at the retreat, we needed to hire somebody else. And he was one of the first guys on my mind, and super grateful that he's here now working with us, guiding every day for redfish.
Yeah, now 7 days a week. You guys are out there Monday and Thursday, 2 days to prospect. So he's going to get out there on the water this afternoon and do a little prospecting for sure. Matt, tell us a little bit about, because you also run a bigger boat. You guys have a 17-foot Scout. That was the skiff that you predominantly take 2 people out at a time. But you were running a bigger boat in the harbors of Charleston for the Bull Reds and taking people out. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, so the red fishing in Charleston is really interesting because you got, smaller, I want to say smaller fish, but they're not small. You got your smaller fish, they can be upwards of 10 to 12 pounds, swimming around in the backwater, doing that stuff. And then your offshore fish, those big redfish that are, sometimes 40 to 50 inches. In the summertime, what they'll do is they'll come back inshore to spawn in like the bigger bays and the deeper water around Charleston and Charleston Harbor. And it's actually an old family boat that I have. It's a 2005 Scout, and we take that thing all throughout Charleston Harbor and out to the jetties, the Charleston jetties that were built back in the 1800s. And it's just 2 lines of rocks just extending off the coast, completely perpendicular to the coast. And it's loaded with redfish at the right time of day, right time of year, right tide. But yeah, I've made quite a, I don't want to say a living, but it's more than a hobby, but it's not quite a living of catching redfish around here.
Now tell us how you got started, because you and me had something in common there. You got started with your grandfather was the reason. My grandfather bought me my first 2-piece rod. So go ahead and tell us a little about how you got started in this.
Yeah, so in my family, my grandpa on my mom's side, who I'd never met, but he had a bunch of kids, and they wound up being my aunts and uncles, and they always told me about, oh, your grandpa had this awesome offshore fishing boat and he would go out and fish, and like, here's some old pictures, and they've got taxidermy tarpon and other stuff like that around the houses in our family. And I don't know, the idea was kind of like, I always kind of wanted to scratch a little bit of that greatness off of my grandpa, kind of see what all that was about. And it's worked out really well for me.
So, Matt, tell us a little bit about, you mentioned smaller fish, which are your slot fish from your 15 to 23-inch fish. Then you have the over slots, 24 to 30, and the bulls, the bull reds that are 30 plus, and you get them to 40, 50 pounds. I mean, talk about the bait that you use, from the shrimp and the mud minnows and all the different stuff. Give us a taste of the bait.
They use croakers. Just croakers. They use croakers.
Yeah. We're
not our favorite bait. Not our favorite bait.
That's amazing, because I want you to know that he's funny. He's saying that for a reason. Those croakers get shipped up here to Long Island, and they sell them for $7 a piece in the bait store.
Oh my gosh, a piece?
A piece, $7 per croaker. And now this year was the first year that I was catching them from the dock in my marina, and putting them in a live pen and putting them down for the striped bass, and it was like crack cocaine. And Chef Rob said they're like a curse over there. So I was like, maybe that's why they shipped them here.
Well, so what happens with the croaker is if you got a live well full of shrimp, and shrimp are one of our favorite baits, and Rob knows a thing or two about this, but if you if you have shrimp in a live well and you put a croaker in that same live well, the croaker will eat all of the legs off of your shrimp and kill them.
That's what Chef Rob definitely put a croaker.
That's what Rob did one day before we had a charter. We were taking some people out, and Rob was like, "Hey, I got you some bait," and we were just like, "No,
what about the squid in there? The squid in there.
Yeah. He threw the two biggest predators ever. He threw a croaker and he threw a bunch of squid that he caught to just create havoc in this bait tank and destroy it. And everything was dead. Everything was dead.
That sounds like Chef Rob, 100%.
Yeah, but my heart. But I learned along the way. You're teaching me. There was a learning experience.
Oh, there's going to be learning curves. Of course, we all screw up, no doubt, 100%.
Yeah,
that's how you learn. Fishing is all about trial and error, Like we said previously that everybody goes out and buys a million lures and a million different things to throw, but we probably use the same 5 lures for the whole season. Yeah. And if it works, why change it up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a bait fishing guy than an artificial, but I love throwing artificials too. And, like you said, there's probably like 4 or 5 lures that I'll throw depending on the time of year. But our favorite baits to use down in Charleston. So for the smaller fish inshore, we love shrimp. We love little finger mullet, which are like the big mullet. They're just baby juvenile versions. And then mud minnows right now are hitting like crazy. Mud minnows really only work when it's pretty cold out, and then a lot of the other baits kind of starting to dwindle away. And then for the big bull reds in the harbor, we use I like menhaden bunker. We use those. Yeah, I know you guys are familiar with bunker. We don't really call them that around here. We call them menhaden. We also call them pogies.
Yeah, that's another term for them, pogies. But yeah, we call them the bunker.
I mean, if you catch those, it's one throw. If you find them schooled up, it's one throw of the net, and you got bait for all day. Even though they don't live that good, they don't live in the live well that well.
Right, they're definitely not as hardy as the croaker. The croaker stay alive in my live well all day long, and especially
The mullet will do the same thing. The mullet will live for pretty much all day, especially if you got water flowing. But with the menhaden, I cut them. I cut the head off. I cut the tail off. I use the body. It's about a chunk this big. The fish is like this, and then you just cut the head, cut the tail, put the body on the hook, and just put it on a bottom rig with some nice current next to some structure, and on a nice ledge, maybe, nice where it goes from 10 feet to 30 feet in a short distance. They like to hang out there. So, those are the ticket when they're still around. And then when the menhaden leave, which usually happens late summer sometime, they usually head out, and we can't find them anymore. They're at least not on the surface splashing around like they were in the early summer.
Right. And you guys are fishing
a big mullet, and we use big mullet, or blue crabs are also really popular to use too.
Right. And the fiddler crabs too. You guys use fiddler crabs, correct?
We do use fiddler crabs. They're not my favorite, but they can definitely catch fish. Sometimes I don't know. They don't stay on the hook great sometimes, and I feel like the fish or shrimp are a little bit easier for the other fish to pick up. I mean, I've caught fish on fiddler crabs before, but I wouldn't it's very rare for me to go in the tackle shop and buy some.
Chef Rob has coined a phrase, walk it back, Johnny, because he put a live green crab down on, and he walked it back in the tide, and he caught a big 7-8 pound tog on my boat, and it was an epic day of fishing. But he definitely coined that phrase, walk it back, Johnny. He just texted it to me a little earlier.
There you go.
So tell us a little bit about the retreat that you guys work at and how you guys all met and got involved.
I started the retreat center about 8 months ago, and I met Jamey, and I came in to help with the culinary program and, turn it into a functional machine. And we did. We turned it into like a resort. But what's awesome about that place is, you know, there's people all around the world, you know, pastors all around the world that are, you know, threatening to be like burnt out, and they're doing all this hard work, and you know, businessmen, and we do these retreats there. It's a place of refuge, a place where they can rest and get what they need and get what they want, and just we serve them to the highest level by culinary, but also you got two captains taking them fishing and putting them on, you know, trophy fish, and you know, they do shooting, and Jamey runs the shooting program too, and just a place where they can refresh, and then we help assist that. You know, we bring in like world class people like trainers and golf pros and therapists and people that can just come alongside and help them. And that's where we met. But there's a big dock right there in the back bays there, and we're catching our own shrimp and eating it. They're bringing back sharks, all different types, and redfish and trout. You know, you name it, they bring it in the kitchen. We cook it for the guests, and it's pretty awesome, man.
Tell us a little bit about the fishing that you did down in Florida in Deerfield Beach.
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up fishing down there, fishing the spillways. Any canal, we're catching snakeheads, peacock bass, you name it, and dropping our little kayaks and john boats wherever we could, and duck hunting down the Everglades. And so, but my what I wanted to say about Deerfield Beach and on that pier, you'll see like during the mullet run, we'll have that. Really, it'll be in one area, moves down the coast of Florida, but those mullet will be there for 1 to 2 weeks, like really, really thick. And then they'll be spotty after that. But similar to that, we have the menhaden come into Charleston Harbor and the Charleston area, and we'll see the same thing where we'll have tarpon, busting schools of menhaden right on the beach. And the only difference is it's here for a long time. And so that's, I think, one of the reasons why we get these big fish are in here, is because there's just so much bait, and it's a spectacular fishery.
Now, you guys are fishing up in Wadmalaw Sound, and you guys also, Matt was telling me that you guys get sharks that come up. You guys are 45 minutes from the ocean, 45 minutes to an hour boat ride to get out to the ocean. And he was telling me about the sharks that you guys get in these estuaries and the creeks. That's got to be cool.
Yeah, so we do get sharks that come up in the channels there, and we got mostly black tip sharks, but we also have bonnet heads, and we've hooked a few spinner sharks as well. And those, you know, they jump and they spin and come back down and big old splash, and they're really fun to catch, especially for, you know, someone who's never caught a fish before that's from like Kansas or something to, you know, see that is
sure. Anybody to see that. That's spectacular. That's awesome. That's why we love being out there 7 days a week and being out on the water. Also, so it's not just redfish for you guys. You guys also, we got to touch base on the sea trout and the flounder. And every once in a while, I know you'll target sheep's head. So give us a breakdown on some of the different fish that you catch there besides the redfish.
Okay, so it's definitely mostly redfish. Our like that's our bread and butter for sure. But we do target trout every now and then. Jamey and I went out on Monday afternoon, and we actually did catch a couple trout, or I should say Jamey caught a couple trout.
You got high hook.
They're a lot different than fishing redfish. You know, the redfish, they like to hang out in those flats that are, you know, just a foot deep of water. But the trout, they like, you know, pitch changes, elevation changes, you know, on the bottom. So they'll be hanging out, you know, where it just dips down a little bit and where there's current coming over, and they'll be sitting there with their nose up, just looking up this hill, waiting for shrimp or minnows or whatever to just kind of come over the top. So a lot of times you catch trout a little bit further back, a little bit away from the bank. We don't really do too much targeting of flounder, but we do catch them. I think we caught one yesterday on the pontoon boat, actually. But yeah, we don't really do too much targeting of flounder. We do have them out here, but you know, they're cool. They got, you know, both eyes on one side. They're, you know, the flatfish, the fluke. Now, the sheep's head, you know, I feel like the sheep's head and the trout probably find their home a little bit closer to the ocean, probably just a few minutes away from the inlet. Whereas we're way, way up in these backwaters, and, you know, we have a lot of redfish, and the redfish are plentiful, but, you know, we don't have the best luck honing in on anything else other than the redfish. That's probably why Jamey's Charleston Red Fish Pros over there.
There you go. That's a great name for him. Now, speaking of the redfish, you guys had an epic day out there, and I think it was in South Bay the week of Thanksgiving. That Monday, you and Chef Rob went out, and since then, Chef Rob's done nothing but talk about it. Now he's got to film it because he's got to capture it on camera to show everybody up here in New York what went on. Tell us a little bit about that epic day you had in South Bay.
So Rob's always itching to get out on the water. So a buddy of mine was asking me to take him to. So I figured I'd have to kill two birds with one stone, and I'd bring Rob and my buddy out on the boat. So Rob wanted to do some sheepshead fishing. So we got some fiddler crabs, and we messed around with that for a little while. Wasn't really hitting what we wanted to. And so I was like, all right, I started getting antsy because I had my friend in the boat, I had Rob in the boat, and I really wanted to put some fish in the boat. So I was like, all right, we're gonna go somewhere that I know they'll be, and the conditions were just perfect. Very, very light winds, and we pull into this area, we call it South Bank, and we can see this bird in this back corner of the flat, and we're all just kind of thinking the same thing. We're like, oh, we know the fish are under that bird. The trick is going to be, can we get this boat far enough up this flat, because it's like a foot where we're at, and it's probably 8 inches where the fish are at. So we're kind of sitting there looking at them, and then all of a sudden they just turn around and they all start heading right towards us. And so Rob's standing on the bow, and, we got a school of 30 plus fish coming at us, and Rob's standing on the bow, and he looks at my friend and he goes, hey, watch this. And he throws the lure in. And within, 2 seconds, he was hooked up to one of those big redfish. And it was just like one of those moments where everything comes together and you get, the full Charleston redfish experience. And it was really awesome.
And Jamey, tell us a little bit about the Charleston Red Fish Pros that you got going on, because you built that up over the last 3 years there, and it's super successful. I can't wait to come down and fish with you guys, so I know I'm going to come down and check it out. But let's tell all the listeners that tune in how they can get down there and get out fishing with you guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's charlestonredfishpros.com. My Instagram is Captain Jamey Panka. Guys, just do anything you want to do. If you want to fly fish, if you want to spin cast, bait fish, artificials, do anything that whatever your level of expertise is, I'm happy to help you out. But check it out online. Give me a call. My number's on the website.
Yeah, guys, I will put the links to in the description for his social media and the website. Chef Rob, you got a big night going on tonight, and you're the reason all 4 of us are on this call. We can't thank you enough. I'm super glad and super proud of you, what you got going on at Global Pizza tonight in Summerville. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got the grand opening tonight, and it's been a long road to get here, and we did a bunch of soft openings, got all the kinks out. And I got a, good staff all put in place, and my daughter's in there, my son's in there serving, and my wife, Kristen, she's awesome and creating this really great space. So, we tested it out. It's effective. And now tonight, I think everybody and their mother's coming, because I talked to everybody. Everybody says they're coming. So this is more of a celebration, So, man, if you're ever in Summerville, bro, there's nowhere else to go.
I'm definitely coming, and I'm jealous because Jamey's going tonight to the opening, so I'm going to miss out on the opening. But me and Corey are coming down. We're fishing with you guys, and we're hitting Global Pizza for sure. Well, there you have it, guys. Can't thank Chef Rob and Captain Jamey and Captain Matt enough for taking the time out of their busy schedules to jump on episode 60 of Bay Rats and Buoys. That was a ton of fun. Those guys are awesome. Chef Rob brags to me all the time of how much fun he has out on the boat fishing with Matt and Jamey. And, it relates to me and Corey out there with Chef Rob, because we have a ton of fun. It's nonstop laughter. And I can only imagine what Chef Rob is putting Captain Jamey and Captain Matt through when they're out on the water. He's an absolute blast to hang out with. But guys, I can't believe Chef Rob took the time out of his day during the grand opening of Global Pizza in South Carolina. So he's opening up a place today. Is the grand opening in Summerville, South Carolina. It's at Godwin's Beer Hall. It's inside. And he's already got great reviews online. He had 80 people there last night for a soft opening. They've done a bunch of soft openings, and tonight is the actual grand opening. So I can't believe he jumped on the podcast. That is so cool of him. He is an awesome character. We love him to death. We wish him nothing but good luck. He's going to crush it down there. And me and Corey can't wait to get on a plane, get down there, and get those redfish off of the bucket list. I have yet to catch one, and we're excited to get down there and fish with those guys. But in the meantime, you guys can visit Captain Jamey over at charlotteredfishpros.com. That's the website. If you want to get in touch with them, reach out to them, head on down there, and they'll be happy to put you on some fish. Super grateful to have them on the podcast today. Episode 60 is in the books. I can't believe Thanksgiving is already in the wake, and we're staring down the barrel of New Year's Eve and Christmas right around the corner, just a few weeks out. So that's good news, because that means we're getting closer to April 15th for opening day for striped bass here in our area. You know the countdown is on. I always put the countdown up on the website for April 15th, and I usually people walk around the office and say, how many days is it now? And they know the countdown is that real for us. Chris, he just took his boat out of the marina, and it was the first thing he said. He's like, this is going to be a long 4 months. And yeah, listen, it is. You know, we're used to it here on Long Island. We got 7 months in the water. We do 5 months. We do a month of prepping, and then boom, we're right back in. So we got to sit out for a few months with the cold weather, and I have a feeling we're going to get a cold winter here. You know, we could be in for some serious snow, they say. Let's see what holds true here to the forecast. I know we do have some really cold weather coming our way, so I hope you guys got your winterization on the engines done with. I know mine's been wrapped up for a week now, tidy, clean, and ready for the springtime. We're excited to get working on it come the third week in March is usually where I'll uncover it and start working on. I usually like to wait till we get into the 50s, you know, or at least a few warm days in March to do a little pre-val. I'll uncover half of it so that I can keep it covered. This way it's not getting all dirtied up before I bring it down. And we really don't have too much work to do to it this year. We're hoping to get spot lock and a few things installed. We had new electronics done this year. Every year we go for some sort of an upgrade. This year we're hoping to do the spot lock. And, I mean, we're just 2 months away from the New York Boat Show. So hopefully you guys will come and see us there. We'll see you at the New York Boat Show. We'll see you at the Copeg Fire Department fishing show that they have going on January 21st. January 21st is the boat show. It's January 31st is the Copeg fishing show. Then we have the Ward Melville show this year is going to be 2 days. It's going to be a Saturday and a Sunday. We will be in attendance for all of those shows, and we're very excited as Bay Rats and Buoys moves into season 3, and we have a lot of great things happening moving into the next year. In 2026, we're going to start our fishing club. We're hoping to launch that at the boat show, and we'll tell you more about it as we get closer. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Episode 60 is in the books. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and hopefully I'll see you out there fly fishing at the Connecticut River. Captain Matt, Captain Jamey, and Chef Rob, thanks again. Appreciate having you guys on episode 60. You guys were awesome. Captain Gaige signing off. Over and out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gaige on all our social media channels.